You're listening to Sports Psych Talk. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect any affiliated organizations or institutions. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you're facing mental health or medical concerns, please consult a qualified professional. Sports Psych Talk does not accept responsibility for any actions taken based on the content shared. Reproduction or distribution of this podcast without permission is prohibited. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy today's episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sports Psych Talk, India का अपना sports talk show. And today we have Akash Prasad with us. And welcome Akash, first of all.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me here, Karanbir.
So Akash, I have been a football player, and he played for India and couple of states as well within India. And he represented, the states at national level, been to national camp as well. And then he decided to go and play, from one of the club, uh, abroad. This is FC Metz in France, and represented Lombard University as well. And he acquired his bachelor's in sports business from Lombard, which is amazing. And further we see that he's currently uh, a chief business officer with Mind Matter Performance, New Delhi, and you know, with the co-partnered with the Maitri Bhushan, we will have her also in one of the coming podcast. So welcome again, Akash. Uh, Thank you so much for your time. So I think this is very interesting. Actually, we were just talking, before starting this recording as well, that you yourself been a football player, and I know the decision which you made to go France and play from France and then from there onwards. So tell about your journey, first of all, as a player, which is very important for the listener to understand. What you were thinking at that time.
Okay. So I played for Delhi State over here. I played for UP as well over here, the Open Nationals. And then following that, the India part was fit was the camp situation that we were in, but that camp really didn't go anywhere. But still, it was quite a high level over here that I believe that is the highest level that I played in India before that. And before that too, I was very keen on becoming a professional football player. That was always something that was on my mind and something that I was very passionate about. Other people were good at other things in school. Some people were good at studies, some people were good at other things. For me, it was football always because I planned out my career to be something within this sport. So the FC Mets part of it was a few of us from India who were more keen and passionate about making it pro. We went through an agent. We practiced over there alongside the youth academy. Was there for quite a few months, and then got a contract to go back there and continue playing football alongside their international youth academy. So at that time, I was at the crossroads where for me, either I would go back there and make football 100% thing and completely focus on that. But then there were some drawbacks in which, licensing and acquiring a football license, considering I'm outside, a member outside EU, and how the laws are protected, and because of India's FIFA ranking. I mean, a lot of things came into play, and I realized at that time that I could probably not become professional, not go pro because of some of these hurdles that are presented to me, and a lot of uncertainty if I had gone there and stayed back over there and been there and waiting, been there indefinitely without knowing when my license is going to be coming for me to play official games. So at that time, I was at the crossroads, and I realized that for me, if it's not this, then what? So that's when I realized that I come back, I finish my 11th, 12th grade, and then I'm going to go on to Loughborough University because if I'm not professionally involved in sport, I always wanted to work within the industry because that's something that I'm really passionate about, and that's something that I really would enjoy doing. So that's why the Loughborough chapter came in and studied
Yeah,
sports
yeah,
business there. You said, yeah.
yeah,
So
yes, yes,
that,
it's sports business. We'll come to
yeah,
that as well. We'll discuss the sports business aspect as well. I think most important, for me also, because I'm also learning something new about you today. Jenny, I've been working myself for here and there in football, with Tata Football Academy and JFC. So I am pretty much familiar with the sports ecosystem within India, and not no idea what is going on in Europe. You might have faced a couple of challenges over there in terms of, and many of these Indians do face challenges because of various other reasons as well. This is nothing new. But switching to the career related to sports after being, a sportsman is I think, a good choice. This is what I feel. Okay, so you've been a player. You played football, and I think you have also coached, if not youth, set up somewhere. I can see that you that were like directing one of the football setup in UK. And
yes.
what is the difference between you being a player? What is the mindset, and then you are a coach on. You see yourself as a coach. So yeah, you find any difference? Can you explain a little bit of this football psychology as well? Because I myself work, but I don't see lot of buzz of psychology in football. Honestly, not in India at least. I have no idea about other countries. Maybe they have their sports psychologists working with them, but making no use of them maybe at time, or maybe limited use at time. Uh, my understanding or my experience is like football. Anyone who decide to pursue career in football is absolutely self-driven, self-motivated, high intrinsic motivation. The individuals, these kids, they love football so much. They can play entire day. If you ask them to play the football. So, so also highlight that psychology aspect of football, but also, the first question was about that youth, sorry, you as a player, and then, you as a coach.
Definitely. So, I'll take that question step by step. Firstly, let's talk about the first question that you said about the about sports psychology being a part of the Indian football system, right? So now there are a lot of things for us to see in terms of thinking of it as a pyramid, all right? So right now, what we have is that strength and conditioning was also not a thing in India before. Strength and conditioning became a thing after most of our elite athletes, like the top ones, Virat Kohli, or the newer generation players as well. But I would say it started around the Virat Kohli era, where he started, more of the calisthenic, the power workouts, the just the new methods of workouts, right? And how he believed that the Western methods or methods that are being used for strength and conditioning should be adapted within the Indian ecosystem. And soon after he started doing this, it became much more prevalent in India. Similarly, that's the kind of transition that sports psychology is also facing within our country. So it's very prevalent in the West. Not only in the West, we have some athletes in New Zealand, Australia, so down under as well. And we have an athlete. He is a part of our athlete mentor program as at Mind Matter Performance, and but he's a athlete himself as well. He is in the cricket setup in New Zealand, and he when he onboarded us at Mind Matter Performance, one of the things he asked us when he saw the kind of clients that we're working with, who are asking for the need of a sports psychologist, he gave us an example of his own situation where they have a team squad of about 20 to 25 people, and he said that apart from the team's sports psychologist that all of them have access to, every single one of them had their own sports psychologist as well, who they've been talking to for a while as well. So like putting it very briefly, the problem is that football in India is developing very slowly. Although right now at this in 2025 we can see major developments happening, but then again setbacks with the ISL, with AIFF, with everything that's happening right now. We move two steps ahead and then it's one step back again. And sports psychology is something that can be adapted into a system Well, look at cricket, for example, drawing the exact parallels with cricket. Cricket, the whole system and structure is so well established right now that something as niche sports psychology that is required within the sport, the system and the structure permits it to be there. While in football, they have six different problems for them to tackle before they can introduce something that will benefit the system or can be integrated within the system. So that's one of the main challenges that we're facing. The other challenge is this, the rigidity within the systems. So if a particular coach has been coaching in an academy or a club or youth setup for a while, they think that within that setup, they can do everything that's required for the club to prosper. Now, if we compare it to the West or any other country that's already adopting such methods, what they do is that they are always looking out for people and for methods that can improve their already existing system. Over here, people feel that it's very difficult for them to involve someone else because they think they will mess with their systems. But that's not really a very positive way to go about these things. So sports psychology, although for football might take a little more time, but still we're working with individual athletes for football and we're not taking on teams directly. We're taking on some teams for the youth setups, but the individual players very well know that this is required for them.
Yeah, actually, in nutshell, we can say, Indian system do have some challenges. Every system comes up with some loopholes, some challenges.
Yeah.
The the journey is not smooth, though we expect it to be marshmallow smooth kind of, but that is not the case. Um, but that is also how we learn. When we encounter the challenges, and that is how we learn about different possibilities to to manage those challenges. Um, so you said that, okay, football still a niche kind of uh, thing in Indian football. Uh, I was talking to somebody, a few days back from England, and we discussed one of the examples from a recent football match. Uh, where a good player, basically, a very established, skillful player, missed penalty because of, he boomed into a referee. Basically, referee was standing behind and didn't see the referee. He was taking step back and then he just, banged into the referee. And for a second, he got distracted, angry at referee, and he went again and picked up the ball and, placed the ball, tried to score penalty, but he failed to score the penalty. Those kind of things. And that scenario only a sports psychologist can understand, because you cannot simply, give description to this particular situation. How you will define that individual is not well trained or individual is not physically fit? How you can define that situation? So psychology definitely comes with a lot of potential, and we will see. Coming on to the physical game is there, and we all have seen that it is always uh, the primary focus. Actually, whatever training you do in sports, the physical game is always on the top. um, what are the more striking differences you have observed between Indian support ecosystem for athletes and the European support ecosystem?
Um, I would say right off, as soon as you ask that question, there are probably two or three things that come to my mind straight away. Number one is physical attributes. All right. In terms of pure, just I'm only talking about physical attributes in terms of height, weight, strength. All right. So there is one thing in which we clearly are a bit different in terms of how we're physically, how our physiology is, really. So that's one part. But then there are a lot of people. First, I thought that maybe this could just be a physical attribute difference in the physiology part of stuff. But then once I went there and I started training with these individuals, there are people who don't have who are not physiologically the best either, but they are skillfully far, far, far superior, like unmatched, completely unmatched. And then that came to me, and I was uh, it came down to me thinking, what is the reason? Like, how are they getting these kind of skills? One is pure acquired attributes, one is hereditary attributes, right? Everyone is not getting hereditary attributes. Everyone's father was not a football player that they're turning out to be so well, so good. So what I realized is that these guys are kicking a ball since they're 2 or 3 years old, 4 years old. They're integrated in the system already. They're already in the youth academy when they're 4 years old, 5 years old, as young as that. So imagine someone who's gaining their very first knowledge about football and how to kick a ball, how to move around, just getting a feel of the sport. And then alongside that, the best coaches in the world are telling you how to do it. They have such a proper system and structure over there that they're able to nurture the talent from a very, very, very young age. Now, if you integrate such systems into a sports person at such a young age, then only can you see that level difference between them. In India, I don't think there is any academy till now. I don't even think there's one academy that would probably coach children from the age of 3 or 4,
Well, I know
except
one.
parents. You do know one? Okay, sorry, my
Yeah, yeah,
bad.
I
Then there's
know.
probably one.
So actually,
There's
why
probably
I'm
one.
telling you this because the uh, grassroots system of Jamshedpur Football Club is one of the best in India. They have also got recognized from, even I was there when there were a lot of, we had a Spanish coach, really good Spanish coach actually. So we started from school, and the school league, kids league, where
Mm.
4 5 year old kids are coming, and they are, we are kind of, but it was the baby league, JFC baby league kind of. So baby league is happening, and then for the youth is separately happening. Not youth, I think children, then youth, something like that. They have like under 9, under 10
Yeah,
and 11, then 13, then 15 kind of setup they have. 15, then youth, 15 and 17 they conduct trials, and they train under 15 and under 17, two teams, and then from there they start picking up the talent for their reserve team, and then they train with the reserve team, and then obviously with the from reserve they get, some of them get opportunity to play for the main team, particularly in ISL. I'll say Enduran Cup is there, ISL is there. The other also important. So GFC, I have experienced it myself. I used to sit in the same office, where they used to, on their laptop, what we are going to do next week, and Spanish coach having discussion with the people who are working at the grassroots. Uh, One such example. Otherwise, I have not seen anywhere else. You are absolutely right. It is not quite common in India.
yeah,
Uh,
not
yeah,
not
but we
not
are
very
just
common.
starting actually.
Yeah, exactly. And I I'm not saying that this is going to be a problem forever. I do see a lot of people investing money in grassroots now and them wanting to make that change because people understand what it's going to take. And I would say only in the last 3 to 4 years, I can already see the level increasing by at least 70 to 80% from what it was before. And I am really hopeful for what is going to come further on in these years. Like I'm really, really hopeful. I don't know if you saw the team that went and won the Gothia Cup right now with
I know Mr. Bajaj actually. So
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
lovely. So the people who went to Mr. Bajaj, that team itself. So I've been following Gothia Cup for like probably 15 years now, and there so many of my friends have also gone and played the Gothia Cup, and the level is actually really good. People are there from
yeah.
all over Europe, all over the like. There are people from South America, there are people from Europe, from Asia, everywhere, like all around the world basically. And winning something like that is wonderful. Wonderful. It's like I don't think people are understanding the importance of what has happened. So
These are yes,
my
yes.
point being
Please
there's
continue.
a lot of development in terms of our resources and where we can be.
Yes, 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 this is Dana Cup is there, Gothia Cup, Helsinki Cup. These are some of the
Yeah,
competitions,
Helsinki. Yeah.
and it actually give the opportunity to a lot of clubs, those who are dealing with the youth setup. that you can go register with them and participate over there and compete with the other clubs coming from all across and that is I think happening all across throughout the years. These cups are happening. uh,
Yeah.
I know Helsinki because in Delhi actually we have ran that project of Bajaj back in 2013-14 where we used to go to school to school in Dwarka. I'm talking about Dwarka. So Dwarka, there's like we used to go to schools and we used to talk to the coaches and we conducted trials in Dwarka, Jhajjar, Bahadurgarh, Chandigarh. These area where there are good schools are there and the parents can afford some of the money for the training and selecting those kids and coming, bringing them to Delhi somewhere, renting a big problem in Delhi that you ground is hardly available for 1 or 2 hour of training and have to pay good amount of money for that. So we struggled for ground, but we found ground and trained them, took them to Helsinki, Finland, and make them participate. So I think these are good. I think this is a good thing which you have shared, highlighted about football. And after this, what Mr. Rahul Bajaj has done, I hope that it will ignite that spark among most of the kids as well, but also among the parent and the coaches as well, that they uh, consider this opportunity, play against the clubs from other countries. Now, the first part is like you yourself being an athlete, a football player. You associated with Lahore University, one of the best sports university in the world, and then you also directed a setup related to football, uh, done your degree in sport business. Now, second part of you is the way you are working or co-founded that your own new initiative which is called Mind Matter Performance alongside Gayatri Bhushan. Tell us something about Mind Matter and briefly about like the vision of the company or maybe what is your approach. I may not
Okay.
want to know about a lot of business aspect, Akash, from you, but definitely a little bit
Absolutely
highlight
not.
and what.
That's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm much more interested to talk about the psychology part and
yeah,
the
yeah.
actual awareness and making a difference than the business part. The business part can tend to get a bit boring. So, although I do manage that part, but still, I'm way more excited to talk about psychology. So, getting right into it, our company is it's called Mind Matter Performance. It's a sport psychology company and a performance company. It's branded as a performance company because we work with elite and competitive athletes, right? So what we help you with is that in layman's language, I'll explain it so that all of our viewers can understand as well, and people who might be new to it, except unless like even if you're not from a sporting background, you'll still understand what I mean. So imagine an elite sports person, okay? So someone who's trying to become pro or who's going through their ranks, who's going through those ranks, whether you're an athlete who's 16, 17, 18 years old, or if you're maybe 23, 24 years old, whatever age group you are in, but you're going through those pro ranks. Now, after a certain level and certain age, your skill level with your colleague who's also performing with you is 19, 20 ka difference. You both are probably at almost the same skill level, unless there's someone who's absolutely unbelievable. Okay, I'm talking about say 95% of the population in the elite aspect. Everyone is a certain level, certain skill level, up and down a bit. Now, what is differentiating you is the mental edge that you have, the ability of you being able to perform consistently every single day, or each time you're in that match setup, the practice setup. Now, a lot of people face a lot of problems. You can be the best athlete in the world, but still, you can go through a lot of problems. You can be nudged very easily, and you could be distracted very easily. You might not be turning up every single day. The example of Bruno Fernandes that you gave us right now. Bruno Fernandes is an absolute elite athlete, right? He should not be missing a penalty, even if the ref comes and pushes him or someone else does that. That's the number one thing about football. When someone's taking a penalty, the keeper will try to distract you, the players will try to distract you, the people behind the goal post are going to try to distract you. This is something that If you're new in your career and this is the first penalty you're taking, Bruno Fernandes is the person who's supposed to be taking penalties for Manchester United, and who is no one else has been taking penalties for years since Fernandes has come. So that's absolutely not acceptable at all. Not even was the shot not hit on target, it was hit completely above the post and far, far away from the target, right? So these are the things that we help you with: performance pressure, pre-game pressure, maintaining consistency, achieving peak performance, and pretty much making you an ice cold athlete so that each time you go into the pitch, you are completely unfazed. You do not care about who you are going to face. What you care about is your abilities and what you can actually do. So I don't, so the athletes that we work with, a lot of them play with, like, say, whether it's badminton, squash, if they are playing against the top athletes in India, we want them to go in completely unfazed and not thinking, I'm going to face India number five, I'm going to face India number two, India number three. That should not matter to them at all. So some of our athletes are within this space, and this is what we help them do: make them ice cold, make them consistent, make them achieve peak performance, and just the best versions of themselves, basically.
Yeah, it sounds quite fascinating actually with the training the athletes and becoming so kind of top notch in terms of the psychological qualities. But definitely, there's a lot of science behind it. Gayatri knows very well, what is science behind it, and how step by step, basically, and drop by drop, you add these abilities to integrate with the athlete's overall character. Um, but hope so that we see more and more athletes adapting to the psychological approach in their game, and getting that mental edge, which is more important. As you rightly said, even a Bruno Fernandes can make the mistake in a crucial match, and shooting a penalty way over the bars. Anyways, so the
Exactly.
another thing is, yes, please.
Yeah. No, no, I was saying exactly. Like, I agree with what you're saying. So
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable sometimes. But then at the same time, you have to think that these guys are human too. But again, it's all, I don't know. It matters about the levels. There are so many levels to this. From a Bruno
Yeah,
Fernandes who's performing at the topmost level to a Grimsby Town that is beating Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. That was unbelievable. I don't know if you watched the game recently,
I
but
actually do not watch a lot of football games. I watch a lot of different games. Sometimes I will go watch snooker. I follow Ronnie O'Sullivan. All these, most of the
I
English.
love Ronnie O'Sullivan. What a brilliant
A lot
athlete.
of golf I watch, tennis I watch. But there's no consistency actually. If you ask me
I
what
can
I like
imagine.
to watch, but
It
yes,
I can imagine. And this was like a very, it was like the League Cup, which is Carabao Cup, which is one of the other competitions that Manchester United plays. And Manchester United is at the Premier League, right? So after the Premier League, you have the Championship, then you have League One, then you have League Two. So they faced a League Two team, which is a fourth division team, and they lost to them. So
yeah.
that is just absolutely unbelievable. And they lost on, again over there as well, they lost on penalties, 13-12 or 12-11, something like that, which was
Yes, and the one
absolutely,
more example
yeah.
coming to my mind, Akash, I think you can shed some light. Actually, the 2014 FIFA World Cup, when Brazil was playing against Germany, and Germany
Yeah,
absolutely thrashed Brazil by 7-1.
yeah,
Germany scored 7 goals, and I think, initial 3 minutes, and everyone was like, okay, people started leaving the stadium actually. When they scored third goal, Oscar was, I think, only individual who scored 1 goal for Brazil, if I'm not wrong.
mm,
That match, Neymar was injured, and
yeah.
uh,
And red card
later,
also Brazil got, I think.
yeah, yes, yes, later actually, in the second half, I guess
Yeah,
they, so the entire thing like came down to. the explanation. How you will define this. So, this particular match, and I have given example during even my sessions with the football coaches and even the players also, where I was trying to tell them how, pressure basically choke you so much that you see that your body, and this is just not one single individual. It is like something, it becomes so contagious in that environment when you are on the pitch and you start observing that your own teammates are just simply missing the ball, and defense line is like, it was like there's no defender at all. They were like penetrating
Yeah.
that ball so easily and
Yeah,
scoring
it
the.
was
Yeah.
they were just unplayable. That's true.
Yes. So we found that, after having kind of discussion, somebody put up this video also later, that catastrophe theory is there, and then, one of the theory in anxiety, it was a catastrophe where, performance goes up, 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 and suddenly something happens that goes absolutely abruptly down. So psychology have a lot of potential, and I just want to move ahead, and you know, uh, football is a huge sport, actually the most popular sport in the world. There are numerous such examples, uh, within the football itself. No idea, I don't know Europe, as I said earlier, but since, science is evolving, sports psychology is evolving, it is still evolving in football, as a football psychology separately within the field. One of the subset of, you can say, sports psychology, when it become more football specific psychology, and you will see more football specific psychologists working in football, those who understand football from the depth.
Mm.
Another is the my last question to you regarding, how you basically balance your entire. I don't know if you're still playing, but you appear very passionate to me. So you still go and play football, and you get a chance to play football, or on the
I do, I
same
do. I play
time.
like I play like two, three
And
times a week.
how you
Yeah.
take care of your well-being, if do you feel a business pressure also, that you are running company and you have to look into
Um,
business, and you.
I would say that my life is quite well balanced, although there's a lot of work for us right now every single day, considering the Indian ecosystem and us really like spreading the awareness. We do podcasts, we do a lot of podcasts, we do a lot of media work. We do a lot of campaigns as well. We're going in person to a lot of these places too, right? To understand what the sports turmoil is over there, what kind of leadership they have, and what we're expecting from them as well, right? So, but then I make sure that I always take out time to play football. We usually play like post 8 p.m. And that's like a staple thing on certain days. Every Monday, every Thursday, every Saturday, we definitely play. And it's been a routine for me ever since I moved back from London and started Mind Matter Performance India.
Yeah, okay. So how you would like to conclude, actually, anything you want to, in terms of your vision for sports psychology in India, performance services in India, coming 5 to 10 year, how you look at it?
Okay. So I feel to start off with, I would say our vision is to set the gold standard for sports psychology in India. All right. That all the athletes have access to good sports psychologists who are licensed, who are ethical, who are able to provide them the best sort of service that they can, right? Because a lot of athletes over here are not, although they have some sports psychologists, but they're not able to get the output that they need. They're not able to even resonate with the sports psychologist that they're teamed up with. So a lot of different aspects also, there are sub micro aspects that have to be looked into, which we're looking into, and we hope other companies and other organizations also look into. So basically, just set up the gold standard for sports psychology in India, and we do believe that it's not a matter of if it'll happen, it's a matter of when it'll happen. So it's most definitely going to be very, very prevalent. It's going to be a multi-billion dollar industry in India, and That is just the monetary part. In terms of pure athlete output, we'll see that output in the Olympics, we'll see that output in the World Para Games, World Athletic Games, World Championships for squash, badminton, tennis, and even global presence for the tennis opens and the, mixed martial arts, basically across the board for all sports.
Yeah, that is what also I think Indian government also envisioned the future of sports, and any everyone is putting effort, honestly, because this is what from where you and me are going to have our own uh, bread and butter. This is our bread and butter. Sports is our bread and butter. We love sports. That's why we're working in sports. There's no doubt about it. Thank you so much, Akash. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for your time. And I want to again say those common things which I always tell my audience: go watch the podcast on YouTube, and like, subscribe, share.